So let's move on to our next team is led by Dr. Ashraya Nayak, a very young dynamic retina consultant from Eye Foundation Group of Hospitals, Coimbatore. He'll be speaking on multiple newer acronyms in imaging, creating lot of confusion in today's clinical practice, especially for the vitreoretinal surgeons or the vitreoretinal specialists. So he would be most effectively argued by another young dynamic leading VR surgeon from ABI Hospital, Patna, Dr. Pooja Madam, who will be arguing against him. Over to Dr. Ashraya, please.
We could ask Dr. Anand to moderate this debate.
Yeah, Dr. Anand sir will be moderating this debate.
Sure.
Dr. Ashraya, you can share your screen.
Yeah. Sir, are my slides visible?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Good evening, one and all. I thank Dr. Chitra ma'am and ARC for giving me the opportunity. I thank Srinivas sir for giving me the hottest topic of this debate, and I'll be talking on multiple newer acronyms in imaging, which are creating confusion in clinical practice. Acronyms are very fascinating and can look intellectually exciting to use in our daily practice, but when they become too many, they play their own part in causing confusion in the management of the condition. The dictionary meaning of confusion is a lack of clearness or distinctness. When acronyms becomes too many, they can be confusing. So newer acronyms can be confusing if they are overlapping or if one is the corollary of the other or if it's recurrent. So let's look at the evidence for each of them. So Govetter et al. In 2017 published two entities, central bokeh abnormalities and ectopic inner foveal layers. The simplified model explains the pathophysiology of these entities when the total force F is exerted by the epiretinal membrane onto all the layers of the retina. The stage 3 and stage 4 ERMs have overlapping features. And it's obvious because they have the consequences of the same pathophysiology, and hence both are overlapping, which leads to confusion. This confusion ends with this paper published by Alkebes et al. In 2020, in which it demonstrates EFL to be a better indicator for metamorphopsia in ERMs, making CBA redundant. In chronic stage, in the chronic stage of DME, fluid accumulates intracellularly. The consequent death of Muller cells and neuroglia results in the formation of large cystoid cavities, and we call it as cystoid macular degeneration. So as a precursor to this, there are residual neural elements which represent residual Muller cells which connect outer and inner retina, making them bridging retinal processes. In clinical practice, both can exist simultaneously as seen in this OCT. Based on the level of scan, both cystoid macular degeneration or BRP can exist. As CMD is a natural corollary to BRP, we rarely use this acronym BRP in our clinical practice to avoid unnecessary confusion. Adding to more confusion, Terada et al. Published this new entity called hyperreflective walls this year. In this paper, they concluded the visual acuity did concluded that the visual acuity did not differ in the eyes with or without such OCT finding. Hence, this proves that these new acronyms only adds to our confusion. So let us look for the evidence for rechristening. So Seta et al. Described the double layer sign, and later the Quercus et al. Described double layer sign changes in eyes with non-exudative macular neovascularization. They described it as slightly elevated RP, which was characterized by collections of moderately reflective material in the sub-RP space. A recent paper by Shi et al. Demonstrated reliability for the double layer sign to be a predictor of neovascular non-exudative macular neovascularization, making it a robust biomarker which can be used to identify these lesions in the eyes with non-exudative AMD. But in 2020, this year, Narita et al. Added quantitative parameters to the double layered sign and named it as SIRE. Hello?
Yeah, you have 1 minute left, Dr. Ashraya.
Yeah, adding to the confusion, this SIRE cannot be differentiated just with the difference of 100 microns of RP elevation. So again, this SIRE is a recrescent format of a double layer sign. So adding to the another confusion, this new entity called NED-NR, described in 2018, with advent of the fluid study, again adds to our confusion. So coming to in 2011, this publication reported OCT at a presentation showing 2 areas of opacification of the macula involving the inner nuclear layer and the inner plexiform layer, which pairs the innermost and outermost layers and referred it as macular perivenular whitening or PVW. In 2013, Saraf et al. Published what is thought to be a reflection of intraretinal ischemia and referred it as PAM. In 2016, McLeod published another PAM and which he named it as Munchy acronyms may mislead, and said Michael Pakes et al. Had already demonstrated this condition and with this in its OCT, which was very descriptive of PAM. So what we need in now is the consensus amongst all these terminologies. This paper by the Richard F. Spade group identified and have a consensus for all these 4 terminologies, and consensus in all these terminologies like this paper, which was published this year, can standardize all the terminologies to reduce all the confusion. Even though I used to use all these terminologies, I refrain from using or overlapping or recurrent acronyms which have no consensus to avoid clinical confusion in my clinical practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraya. Very nicely put, with very beautiful anecdotes and examples with the various clinical trials which have been conducted against the multiple acronyms.